Hey Hero fans, this is Todd, and I have in front of me Granimir the Dragon. And this dragon is a really cool dragon. He came both in red and in green. He's got lots of articulation points. But a sad thing has happened. Somebody contacted me because they got a Granamyr used, and when they got him, they decided that they wanted to store him away and not put him on a shelf yet. And so their plans was to pull them apart. And unfortunately, these joints are made for one assembly only, and the arm snapped. Let me show you some of the pictures of this. It is just crazy. So here is the guy's Granamyr, and his arm is snapped right off. And you can see, here's a picture of the arm being snapped. Oh, no! And here's the joint. He tried to glue it, so that's why there's some glue in there. And so, there's a close-up view of the glue. So I asked if he could take the glue out, and he was able to get some of the glue out of there. And after he got the glue out, I asked him to go ahead and do some measurements for me. Now I needed measurements of the actual size of the hole in the actual arm itself, and some measurements of the insert in the shoulder where the arm connects to. Now normally this has tabs sticking out that are pretty long. If you could see them in this picture here, they're still kind of glued in there and kind of a mess. So here's the tabs right there sticking out, and he pulled that whole section out. And there we go. So you can kind of see what the issue is. So I decided to go to the drawing board, and here was my design. So this was the design here that I came up with. Now it took me a while to figure out exactly how to make this. And I thought about it, and so finally I made the bottom portion here the same size as the inner hole of the shoulder on the torso. I made this top portion right here just a little larger than the top measurement of the inside hole of the torso. And then made these a little bit smaller than the inside hole. And you can see they kind of stagger, smaller, a little bigger, and then these are the full size. And the idea is you shove it into the shoulder of the torso. They're going to take and click in place. So this little angled piece is going to take and allow it to go snap, snap, snap until finally it hits the right spot. Now this top portion, this is just a little bit smaller than the size of the hole of the arm hole in the shoulder. And then I have these little jaggies in here that should hopefully grip it and hold it in place. So there is the idea that I came up with for how to hold this arm back in place. And let's go ahead and talk about the slicer that's used for printing it. So here is the slicer that we use when we go to print it. And you can see here's the part. And basically you prepare it in your slicer, then you slice it. And I purposely made it so it was 100% fill. You can see as I slide the slider down, it shows the inside is completely filled with plastic. So there will not be any hollow parts. So in case it has to be sanded, cut, or changed in any way or drilled, then you don't have to worry about breaking into a hollow section. I also increased the temperature to 220. It's kind of hard to see, it's so small here. Just so that it would have a higher melt point, not melt point, a higher point of where the plastic is heated up so it could adhere to itself much better. So there is the build, and you can see it's kind of fun to watch it when you do the slider. The slider takes and shows all the layers as it goes. There's all the all the pieces that are to hold it in place. That's funny. Alright, so there is the design. So let's go ahead and check out the 3D print to this. Here you can see the part printing. There it is. Print, part, print. Ooh, ah. I am using PLA Plus. I have the temperature up a little bit higher than normal, so it bonds really nice. And there it is. There it is. It's funny how big the plate is compared to the small, itty bitty part. Alright, so here is that final part all complete. There it is. Basically, the way this works is you shove this piece here into the arm itself. Then once that goes into the arm, it needs to bottom all the way out against the bottom here. And then you take and you shove this, and these serrations will catch. They're angled in such a way that they catch, and then jam that in there. Now, I made this a little bit extra long on purpose, so if it is too long, feel free to sand it down shorter. But my first version of this was really short, but I am going to send some other versions for you that are not quite as robust. And you could try them out and see if they work. You can see the serrations on this one I made a lot bigger to hopefully catch it better. But you may not need that, so I am going to add some other ones. I am going to send you a couple of these, though, so in case you break them or something happens, you got a few more to try and test it on. All right, and what I want to know is after you try it, and I want you to take pictures and send them to me so we can do a follow-up for everybody here so they can see, did this actually work or not? Now, if you shove this too hard into the shoulder first, it will go probably into the shoulder and past this point. I did make this last piece a little bit bigger, but because it's still so small, it might just break the edges if you try to push it too far. So get this set first into the shoulder all the way. Then once the arm is on here all the way, then shove this piece into the torso where the arm connects into the shoulder. All right. Hopefully that helps. And like they say in the 1987 movie, good journey, everybody. Good journey. Oh, I wish his mouth's articulated. Come on, Mattel. You should have articulated his mouth. It'd been so cool. Bum, 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 bum. And he could have breathed fire out of it or have his mouth just hanging open. I don't know why a lot of heads didn't have the articulated mouths. Like Dragon Blast Skeletor didn't have it. The other dragon figure that Super 7 designed didn't have an articulated mouth. With some figures, you just need it. And with a mouth that big, it should have been articulated a little bit. Or at least open, so we could articulate it ourselves. Even that. Anyway, I don't mean to digress. Anyway, that's all I got. So, until next time, good journey. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it!